Welcome back to the Mycrodex, where Fungimon are Pokemon and where Fungimon evolve into beetles, because we are checking in on our first flush of eggs that turned into larvae, which will eventually turn into beetles. And today we're checking in on a few Xylotrupes, Pachysera, larvae, and you can see they're getting really big. Now, we took these from egg and brought them all the way up to what you see now, and they're over 12 grams. These things are less than 3 months old, and they're actually surpassing the weight on my dynasty's Tidius, which is kind of crazy. It's only been a couple months, so their growth is really crazy. And yeah, so my biggest one I believe is like 14 at the moment, and I'm getting some really good results from the different mixtures that I've been practicing. Lion's Mane is definitely involved, but if you guys have been watching my shorts or my reels, you'll also know that I've been including slime molds in the breaking down of the material. I've been doing that on purpose to help in the digestion for the larvae, and they seem to be responding well. So we'll see how they mature in the future. Now, today is a really special episode because we are handling a brand new species, and every time this happens, and this is only the second time for live like adult beetles. Uh, yeah, every time this happens, I get a little scared because I'm coming into this as someone that wasn't really an insect person growing up, but I knew what I liked, and it usually was in the form of like mecha stuff. So like beetles are like really approachable because they are very mecha like and very they're pretty approachable. Like when you look at them from the top down, they're very simple. It looks like they just have like three pieces, and they have their legs, but they're not too fast, so they're not spooky like spiders in my head. So they were a lot more approachable, and being connected to them through the fungi has helped a lot, just because like I can engage with them on a really deep level and understand where they're coming from. So like everything that you see in this video, I either collected like those sticks there. I collected those sticks at a local farm, and then all of the brown stuff that you see is fermented fruiting blocks that have special mixtures in it. I'm doing a bunch of different recipes to make that substrate. And the reason I'm putting that richer substrate in there is because I'm making a mating box, a breeding box for this new species that's coming in. And well, that I'm bringing into the space because I really want to see how my substrates are going to affect their growth rate. And uh, this species in particular has been one of the more striking ones that I've seen uh, at like in general, and they seem to have a shorter larval period, so I would see them hatching a lot more often, and it would be cool if I could get like 2 generations of these guys out a year, because then you can get a lot more data on them. So I'm setting up this breeding box, and I'm learning from past mistakes. So I had a breeding box in a bin like this, and these holes were like way too big because they let bugs in, and then the bugs laid in the substrate, and then I had problems. So I'm bringing up the trusty micropore tape just to keep the breathing, the gas exchange high, so we don't get any crazy nematode blooms. But we'll also we'll get a lot of airflow, and we'll keep the bugs out. So yeah, get a lot more out of the substrate that way, especially since they need to be in there for a while because the eggs will be laid in there, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. Now, our Xylotrupes Pachysera from our initial breeding is like right over there chilling as I open up his new buddy, and the new buddy's girlfriend or wife, because we have a pair here I'm gonna try to pronounce the name, the Latin name for this insect, but it is pretty much Cyclommatus Metallifer finae. If you happen to know the proper way to pronounce it, or if I pronounced it correctly, just let me know down in the comments. Now, one of the more common attributes of this species is just how different in size the males are to the females, and it's like literally 3 or 4 times you'll see very soon. But this is what we're working with. The female was able to fit in that little deli cup where you put ketchup. This one is in a full like little soup cup, and it is pretty long. It's as long as my finger, and this guy is really shiny in the light. The camera doesn't really do him justice, but man, I was in like, there's just so many moving parts on this guy, but it all kind of makes sense, and it was very interesting to be able to like experience his presence in the room, because when he gripped onto my finger, he gripped onto my finger a couple times, and he wasn't biting me, but he was kind of like feeling like who I was, or like what I am, like like right there. He kind of like got a little spooked. He gets spooked whenever you touch the big pincers, so I just tried to obviously keep my fingers away from that. But he eventually got comfortable enough to hop up on my hand, and he was feeling my finger like all the way down my hand. And those pincers in the middle, like especially that big one in the middle, that thing is really sharp. It's really sharp. So if he really wanted to, I feel like he could break the skin. And I was pretty uncomfortable like at first handling him, but he's a pretty cool dude. They're pretty chill. But he jumped on this little piece of reishi that I grew, um, and I let him back in so that we can check out his wife, his soulmate. This is gonna be his mate for this breeding project, and she is so cute. I'm really starting to like the female beetles. Like they don't have the big horns and all that stuff, but they have their own ways of looking like really cool. And especially like Momo looked really cool, and she had like the diamond bracelet pretty much. And this one kind of has like the little speckles on her head too, but she kind of has she has like sparkles like all the way through her body, and those cute little like feelers with the 3 little prongs on the end. Like it looks like really cute. Like I don't know, like she's got the most crazy fake eyelashes on her antenna. That's insane. But yeah, she's really cool, and a lot more docile than I expected. Usually they're, um, I know with Momo, she was very like, don't mess with me, like, give me my space. But this one, she was all right. She just, she was actually pretty happy. She's just chilling. She's like, hey, what's up? And so I put her in there, and I made sure to grab some jelly, and I still have some spirulina jelly since it was sterilized. It's still really good. You can still eat it like that. It's got a lot of sugar and it's got some protein in it, and that's gonna keep them nice and rejuvenated while they mate. And I'll check in on them in a little bit, but that's pretty much this episode. I wanted to check on Shungo too. Shungo's still really strong. He's always flipping over the logs and stuff in his enclosure, and he does his laps, and he's super active, and I take him out and I play with him sometimes. So he's chilling. He's loving his diet. He's eating all the jellies. Been giving him banana, and I was gonna make like a dragon fruit jelly for him, because he's been so good. But we'll see about that. But I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Just wanted to catch you guys up, but there's a lot more coming, and I'll see you soon.